Hi, everyone. How are you all doing? Welcome. This is Whole and Beautiful, and I am Angela Oliphant, your host, and I am so glad that you all have joined me tonight for another night of information, revelation, and change. Normally, about this time, I would be telling you that I had a guest and I will be getting ready to bring that guest on. But tonight, your guest is me. I am going to share some things with you on tonight that I hope will encourage you, that will give you the information that you need, that will put you on a path that will cause you to just grow and move forward. I'm all about growth. I'm all about people moving forward and being the best person that they can possibly be. And the reason why that I go after that so hard is because it was later on in life for me that I started realizing just how powerful I was and just how great I could be. And it took me a while to recognize that. So what I try to do is to let you all know and to get you in the game as early as possible and let you know that you're never too old to grow. You're never too old to learn. You're never too old to be taught and to push forward and to go forward and to be the best you possible. So I am going to share that with you all tonight. I'm going to be talking about building. And this whole month is what I want to talk about is building, because building, I want to talk about building relationships. I want to talk about building your marriage. I want to talk about building your community, building your schools, building yourself. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, is about building you, because you want to be the best you possible. Because if you build yourself, then you're able to go in and start to build somebody else and to help somebody else. I am a firm believer that if you can't do it for yourself, you're not going to be able to do it for somebody else. You may try for a while and then you'll taper off. But if you're able to show the love to yourself, if you're able to do what you need to do for you, then you're able to go and do it for somebody else. I tell my kids every single day possible, I tell them to encourage you, which is yourself, and then go encourage somebody else, to love you, and then go love somebody else, and to be kind to you, and then go be kind to somebody else. Because we all need that for ourselves. And a lot of times we neglect us. We neglect who we are. We neglect that we are powerful, that we are great, that we are wonderful. We neglect us to go out and try to do something for somebody else. And you haven't even tried to do it for yourself. I've noticed that even with myself, that I will go out of my way, get up early in the morning and prepare myself because I am going to go do this great thing for somebody else. But when it came down to me, I would not do what I needed to do for me. I would just say, you know what? I don't feel like getting up. I don't feel like doing this. And because I wasn't doing it for somebody else, I didn't feel worthy enough to get up and do it for myself. And later on in life, I realized that I am worth it. And I need to get up and I need to take care of myself, just like I would go out and take care of that other person, just like I would go out and do for that other person. I need to be able to do for me. So I am asking you all to applaud yourselves tonight, to clap and celebrate for you. And I am going to talk to you a little bit about that. I want you all to also recommend people that may want to come on the show. We are a show that talks about, that brings information and revelation and change to people. And if you know that person, or you know somebody that you said, man, that person has a wealth of information, they would be good for the show, or that person has some information that's going to bring about a revelation and a change in people's lives, I would love to hear their testimony. I would like to hear more about them. Send me their names, send me their information. I will contact them and try to see if I can get them on the show, because I would love to talk to somebody and just for them to share their whole and beautiful journey. Because while we are traveling on this journey, it can be whole and it can be beautiful. It's not just the destination at the end. It is us being whole and beautiful as we're going forward and as we're moving forward. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to continue to move forward and to go forward. Now, one thing that I did realize was that my book, The Shepherd, the Sheep, and the Sheepdog, this book right here, guys, it is 5 years old. Yay! Anniversary, 5 years old. It is 5 years old. It's 5 years ago that this book was published. And I was so excited when it went out and it was published. At that time, I was going through a lot in my life. A lot. It was a lot. And I almost didn't do my book signing because of everything that was going on in my world at that time. I felt like everything was falling apart. I felt like my family was falling apart. I felt like I was falling apart. And I said that there is no way possible that I am going to be able to do a book signing. And I had decided that I was not going to do the book signing. And a friend of mine said to me, she said, "You have worked too hard and you have pushed through so much. You cannot just not do this book signing. You have to do the book signing. You're going to push through. You're going to go forward. And you're going to do this book signing." And that's what I did. I pushed forward. I moved forward. And I did the book signing. I am so glad that I did. It was an awesome, awesome time. And I want to share with you something out of my book, which I'm going to share that with you at the end of this broadcast. But right now, I want to talk to you about building. I want to talk to you about building you. I want to talk to you about building your family, building your community. Those are things that we're going to talk about this entire month. So I want to talk to some people, which I think I will have some people that are going to be coming on and talking about building marriages. And we're going to have a show talking about building your community, building your schools, building your church, building just the community in general. But tonight, I want to talk to you about building you. The first thing I wanted to share with you is what building means. It means to construct something. It means that you're putting all the parts together. You are getting all these different parts and you're putting them together. You're constructing something. Maybe about a month or so ago, I talked to you all about foundation, and I talked about building on a sure foundation and building on that good foundation. Even with the foundation, when it's being prepared, it has to be prepared and all the components with it for it to be ready to receive that building once it's built. And one thing that I wanted to share with you all is that all the parts, like when you go out to the different areas, the subdivisions that they're building up in different areas that you go in where they're building buildings, you're going to see all the different parts out there. You may see bricks out there. You may see wood. You may see the nuts, the bolts, the screws, all the different things that they may have out there. But if those things just lay there and nobody takes them and constructs them, the building will never come to be. And you need to be able to pull all those things together so that you can have the building that you're looking for. And we have to do that with ourselves. We have to build ourselves. I was thinking about it even as I was driving home from work today. A lot of us think that when we see these people who come on social media or they're on TV or they're moving out and they're doing things big, and we see them and we like, oh, they're like an overnight sensation. Oh, they did this overnight. They did not. They've been building all this time and they've been preparing all this time. And when they were given the platform, they were ready to walk into it and do it. And that's what we need to be able to do. We need to be able to be ready when the opportunity arises. When that opportunity comes to us, we need to be ready for it. And that's why you can be able to walk into something when you've prayed about it, when you've talked to God about it, when you have planned it out, you have went over everything in your mind. You got all these things laid out. You have went in detail as to what you want to do, what your purpose is, what I'm supposed to be doing, what I want to do, what I'm desiring to do. And you're prepping yourself. You're preparing yourself. You are going through things over in your mind, but not only in your mind, but you're writing them down. You're writing it out. You're making that vision plain. You're looking at it and you're saying, yes, this is what I need to do. Yes, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to get these things started and I'm going to get this thing going. And you continue to work on you. You continue to prepare yourself. You're taking all these components that you have on the inside of you. You're bringing them together and you are building something. So when the opportunity arises for you to be able to step out into it, you're ready. You're ready. Some people, they wait and they say, okay, you know what? Somebody gives you that opportunity and they say, well, I'm going to pray about it. I'll get back with you. I'll let you know. And then you have other people that say, you know what? Somebody gives them that opportunity. They say, yeah, when can we start? Can we start today? I can start in the morning. And people are like, well, you need to pray about that, or you need to sit down and you need to think. Not when you've already prayed, not when you've already prepared. When you've already prepared for a thing, when you've already done that thing and you've already prepared for it, when the opportunity arises, you can walk right into it. Why? Because you've already prayed about it. You have already been a part of it. You have already poured into your life and spent that time with you and did everything that you need to do. You went out and did the work, all the work that you needed to do for that particular show you want to do, for that particular broadcast you want to do, for that whatever it is that you're desiring to do, you have already prepared for it. And because you have already prepared for it, when the opportunity and the platform arises, you just walk into it. You walk straight into it because you've already prepped and prepared for it. And that's what happens even when we look in the Word of God. When we look in the Word of God and we see where the earth was without form and it was void, and God spoke and things came together. All the elements were there. They came together because he spoke it, and they came together and they were already ready even before man even entered into the scenario, entered into this garden, into this place. Everything was already prepared. So what we have to realize is that we have every component in us, on the inside of us, that we need for us to be able to do what we need to do in this life. And if you need to learn more, I always say there is a library. There are books everywhere, people. You can go on Google and Google stuff. You can go to the library and you can read. You can check out books. I have been, and y'all know I'm old school. I love a book in my hand. So when the opportunity to go to the library was my just ultimate thing. I love the library. I love bookstores. So I'm always looking for a book to read, something to add to my library, something that I can go and pull from and learn from. So I'm constantly putting those things in me. So as I'm learning, when I'm faced with the opportunity to step into something that I wanted to step into, I don't have to think about it. I don't have to wonder about it. I don't have to say, you know what? Well, let me take about a week and let me pray about this thing and see if I'm going to be able to do it. No, because God has already prepped me and he's already prepared me. Why? Because I've already prayed about it. I've already been studying. I've already been putting my plans together and writing things down the way that they supposed to be, because I see it in my mind. I don't know about anybody else, but I can see it. I can see it happening, and I see the different things that I need to do. So I began to do those things, and I began to put those things together. I have a picture in my mind as to the way things ought to be, and then I hear it, and I'm like, okay, let me write this down. let me go ahead and write this down because this is something that I'm going to need to do. And these are things that I'm going to need to do. And we have to be disciplined. We have to be disciplined with the things that we are doing. We got to be disciplined with it. You can't just throw it down and not work with it and not be in there and say, hey, you know what? I'm worth it. I need to study. I need to prepare myself. I need to have my stuff ready and in order so that I can move forward and go and do what I need to do. Even with the purchase of a car or the purchase of a house or moving on your own or doing different things, you want to be able to study some things out first. You want to know when you step out into this that you know and you know again. It's like, I know my stuff when I'm going. I know these things. Why? So you can't pull the wool over my eyes. You can't bamboozle me. You can't get me out here and I'm stuck like Chuck, like I say sometimes. No, you can go out there and you know it. Why? Because you studied it and you read it and you're in it and you're training yourself. You know, when you go on a new job, they train you. They sit there. If you have a good trainer, if you have a good trainer, they are going to train you. They're going to show you everything possible and try to show you every scenario that will come about so that you will be prepared. But just with them training you alone is not just what you take. You go and you have to study on your own. You have to study those things on your own. You have to get your own rhythm. Because I am learning some things, even at my job now, where I have to get my own rhythm. I'm starting to see stuff and learn more and more and more every day. Now I see why things work the way that they work and they move the way that they. I know the language, I know the lingo now. I'm picking all that up, but I'm learning and I'm getting my own flow, and that is helping me a lot. And we need to make sure that we have our own flow. We need to make sure that we are preparing that ground, preparing ourselves for the opportunities that are going to come to us in this time, in this season, if you will, in this life that we live. You're going to get some opportunities. Opportunities are coming to you, but you have got to be prepared for those opportunities when they come. Because if somebody comes to you with something, let's say that you want to start your own show. Let's say that you want to broadcast and you want to be out there and you want to do all these things. When somebody comes to you and they say, hey, you know what, you want to start your own show? I have an opportunity for you to start your own show and we can get this started within the month. Are you ready and are you prepared for it? Or is it something that you're just saying? If you're saying, you know what, I want to be an author, have you sat down and start writing yet? Are you preparing your mind? Are you preparing your heart? Are you sitting down and writing out those ideas? Are you getting yourself in there and watching shows like Authors Up? Have you watched it? Are you paying attention to the pointers and the different things that they give out to you? You want to participate in those things because it's going to help you to be a better person and a better writer. Are you preparing yourself for these things? If you want to step into a business and open up your own business, what are you doing to prepare for it? What are you building so that when it's time, you have already constructed it, you already have it together, you already know what you're doing. So when the opportunity arises, you can walk straight into it. You don't have to hesitate. You don't have to back up. You don't have to think about it because you've already thought it through. You do not have to think about it because you already thought it through, people. And that's what we need to do. We need to think it through. We need to go ahead and think that thing through. We need to go ahead and pray it through. We need to go ahead and have everything in order and ready so that when the opportunity comes to you, you're able to walk into it. And you have to realize that you are not alone. And you, all these different parts and components and stuff, you have to include other people in there. Because we all need each other. I tell y'all that all the time. We all need each other. You are not an island. You cannot stand by yourself. You need other people. And you may say, you know what, I don't need nobody. I got this. You know what? You need somebody. Somebody. Somebody you can talk to. Somebody that you can depend on. Sometimes you have to push yourself until that somebody comes along. But we all need each other. Even in the word of God, it tells us that we are fitly joined together, that each joint supplies what the other joint needs. And we should be supplying what somebody else needs, even with the business that we do, even with the shows that we're doing, even with words of encouragement and different things that we may go about doing. We need to realize that what we are supplying, it helps somebody else. It not only helps me, but it helps somebody else. So I'm going to help myself so that I can help you. I'm going to encourage myself so that I can go back and I can encourage you. I'm going to love me to the fullest. Why? So that I can go and I can love you, because I can't love you the right way unless I love myself the right way, unless I build myself up the right way. The only way that I am going to be able to love you is to love myself. If I love myself unconditionally, I can love you unconditionally. If I get up encouraging myself all the time, I will encourage you and it'll be out of my overflow and I will not be empty. When we look at these different components that are coming together and these different things that we need to realize that, think about it. We need to realize that even with our bodies, every part of who we are, it serves a purpose. Every person in your life, they serve a purpose. They are there for a reason. They are there to push you to your next destination. They are there to remind you of maybe who you are. There maybe be a reminder of where you came from. They may be the thing in your life or that thing in your life to say, you know what, you don't want to do that and you don't want to go that direction. They may be teaching you what not to do. But everything in your life can bring about a lesson. And when we look at our bodies, even our bodies, like I was saying, work together. Because when our bodies work together, every part of who we are works together for us. When I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you and I'm moving my hands and I'm moving back and I'm moving forth, I'm here. I have skin. My skin serves a purpose. My eyes serve a purpose. My nose, my ears, my mouth, everything is serving purpose. Hair, everything serves a purpose. And when I began to look at the human body, I was like, oh my goodness, when God created the human body, my Lord, you could take one part, just one part, and you just keep breaking it down and keep breaking that down and keep breaking it down and going and looking at what it actually does. You could take the skin alone and begin to study just the skin, and it will just take you on this study trip that you will be on forever, it seems like, because you're always learning new things. When I looked at the different systems of the body, we have our circulatory, our respiratory, our digestive, our skeletal, our muscular, our reproductive, our nervous system. We have all those different systems. But even with those systems, guys, each system is broken down into parts. And then those parts are broken. You can take those parts and break them down even more, and take those parts and break them down even more. We are not just shallow people. We're just not. We are very intricate. We are very detailed. God created us very detailed. And when we are working on these plans and when we are building ourselves, don't sell yourself short. You are very detailed. Look at your plan. Go back. Look at that business plan again. Did you tackle every single thing that could come into that business? Did you look at every part of it? And did you study each part out? so that you know and you know again. Did you talk to some people who maybe have already started their business and kind of glean some information and some wisdom from them? Have you looked at what you're desiring to do as a career? Have you studied it out? Do you know what it's going to take? Do you know what it's going to take from you to be able to do what you're desiring to do? If you're deciding to go get this house, have you looked at it? Have you built yourself up? Have you built, your knowledge level in going to go get this house? What is your credit score going to look like? What does it have to look like? What are they looking at when I go look at this house? What are they going to be requiring of me? What am I going to need? And when I move in, what do I need when I move in? When I was thinking about getting a house, and I'm still thinking about it, I wanted to go and like just purchase a house. And somebody asked me a question. They said, well, when you move into the house, do you have money saved up in your savings to be able to take care of the house? And I had to step back and say, huh? I was like, I never even thought about that. Because in an apartment that you're leasing or you're renting, you call, they come fix. You call, they come fix. If you're in a house, you're going to have to do those things yourself. So you need to plan for it. You need to build your knowledge base when it comes to purchasing that home. So I was like, okay, Angela, you need to go, you need to study, you need to look what is going to require not only to get you the house, but you need to find out what it's going to take for you to be able to live in the house and still be comfortable. If something was to break down or if something was to happen, do you have the money to take care of it? Do you have your homeowner's insurance? Do you have this, that, and the other? There's so many other things that entails in that one thing. Even with preparing yourselves for whatever, you got to be prepared. And a lot of times we think that things are just poof, they're just going to happen. They're just going to happen. Poof, they're going to be happening. We think that, you know what, our families coming together and being together and having a good time together, poof, it's just going to happen. No, it takes some planning, guys. It takes you planning for your family. It takes you reaching out to the ones that you need to reach out to. You need to talk to people and not at people. Talk to them. And you need to be able to love them. And you need to know what to do to draw people in that maybe you had a bad relationship with a family member and you don't know how to break that. It's going to take some prayer. It's going to take you sitting and saying, okay, what can I do that is going to draw this person back in? That's going to allow them to hear me and not rehearse this bad thing that happened with us like 20, 30 years ago. So it's going to take some preparation. It's going to take you building something. We think that marriage is, oh, poof, I'm going to have the awesome marriage. Like we're going to sprinkle some dust on it or throw something at it and it's just going to happen. It's not going to happen. It takes you working to build. When you build something, you're working at constructing that thing. You're working at it. You don't just lay all the parts out on the floor. It's like a puzzle. You don't lay all the parts out there and just say, oh, that was going to be a pretty puzzle when it comes together. And you're expecting the pieces just to come together. No, you have to sit down and put the work in to put those puzzle pieces together. And when you come and you put all those puzzle pieces together, it turns out to be a gorgeous, beautiful picture. But it's not going to be that way until you put the work in. You've got to put the work in. Not only that, it's like you have to come together and begin to work with somebody else. That puzzle may get together, and those large puzzles, it take a while to put them together. And some people use that as their hobby time, and they put those puzzles together. But you know what? If you got somebody there helping you, and you and that person are working together, you'll get it done much quicker. And sometimes it's fun just to have somebody else there to talk to and The way, and watch the way that they put the puzzle together, because you know something, each person does it differently. Some people like to put all the edge pieces together and then try to tackle the inside. Some people start from the inside and work their way out. Other people start with corner pieces and work their way in. Everybody works different. But we got to learn to embrace each other. We have to begin even to learn how to embrace our community, our family, our children. You got to learn how to embrace those kids. Even if they're grown, you got to learn how to embrace them. You got to learn how to talk to them. You got to learn how to have a friendship, a relationship with your children. I'm learning that now, guys. I'm learning that because in the beginning, you're the mom, you're teaching, and you're like, okay, you got your little ones there and you're doing all these things with them. But when they become grown, now it's like, okay, this is a whole different situation, because you're not that little boy or that little girl anymore. You are a grown up now. So now I got to start dealing with you on a grown up level, even though I'm still your mom. And I still want, you to respect me as being your mom, but I still have to learn how to approach you, not as a 4-year-old. I can't talk to you like you're 4. I can't talk to you like you 3. I've got to talk to you for the adult that you are and let you take on your responsibilities. I can't take on your responsibilities for you. I can't do for you what you need to be doing for yourself. I need to trust that what I taught you and what I poured into you, that it's going to shine and it's going to come forth and you're going to be okay. And we have to back off and we have to realize, okay, I still can have a relationship with my children, but I do still have to realize that they are not that teenager anymore. They're not that 10-year-old or the 4-year-old or the 5-year-old anymore. They're 35, they're 40, and I need to realize that, and I need to begin to talk to them and treat them more so like adults. We have all these different components, and they are so powerful, and they are ready to be put together in our lives so that we can construct the most beautiful building ever, that we can construct the most beautiful lives ever with our family, with our community, with our spouses, with our church. But we got to take the components that we have and we got to see how we're going to maneuver them to put them together, to make them bring about that beautiful thing that we see here in our minds. And we're going to have to come together to be able to do it. We, just like our bodies have all these different parts, guys, all these different parts, but they all come together and they work together so that I can breathe. Just to breathe alone, it's like my lungs are involved. It's like the air, my nose, my mouth. It's so many other things that are involved just for me to breathe, for me to eat. So many things are involved for my food to digest properly. And all those different parts of the body are involved. For me to hear, if you even look at your ears, all the different parts are involved so that you can hear, so you can see, so you can move these fingers. There are all these different parts that are involved. None is like minute and not necessary. And we have to realize that we are necessary. You are necessary. You are necessary for your family. You are necessary for your spouse. You are necessary for your children. You are necessary even for yourself. You have to realize how important you are and how important your life is, and that you don't stand alone, even if you don't realize that other people are watching you. So how are you building? Are you ready for that opportunity? If someone was to come to you today and say, hey, I have this opportunity for you. I want you to be able to do this, 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 and this. I am opening this door for you to walk into this today if you choose. Are you ready? Have you prepared? Have you prepared? And we need to prepare. Preparing is building. You're building it up. You're getting everything ready. You're putting everything in order. You're making sure that everything is there. So when the opportunity arises and God blows on it, it's like it's time to move. It's time to go. It's time to get this thing started. God created everything, and then he put man in the garden. Then he brought him and put him, and he breathed the breath of life in him, and he had everything there that he needed. He had everything there that he needed. Once God breathed on him, he came to life, and everything that was needed was there. And then he brought in the companion to share it with. So it's like, think about it. Are you prepared? You say, I want to be a wife. I want to get married. Or have you prepared yourself? Have you prepared yourself to be a wife? Have you prepared yourself to be a husband? Some people are saying, I want to be a mom. I want to be a mom. Have you prepared yourself to be a mom? Have you prayed about it? If God opened that door for you even today and you found out, hey, I'm having this baby. Am I ready? Am I prepared to be this mom? I'm not saying that you're going to have every T crossed and every I like dotted, but we say a lot of things, but are we ready for those things when God brings them forth? When he brings them to us, when those opportunities arise, are you ready? When we think about some of the people that are out there now today, I even think about like Tabitha Brown. A lot of people are talking about Tabitha Brown, you know. She was ready when the opportunity arose because she had already been doing the work. Have you prepared yourself? Are you ready? That have given the opportunity where everything start going, you know, coming in your direction at that time. Are you ready? Are you ready in here? Are you ready in here? Are you ready for it? Because you have got to be ready for it. You may say that, you know, oh, I'm ready. But you're going to have to be level. You can't be all over the place when these opportunities arise. You can't be all over the place when the opportunity arises, when God opens up the door to bring that money, when God opens up the door to give you that house, or you have the opportunity to walk into that house. Are you ready for that house? Are you ready for that car? Are you ready for that opportunity to open up your own business, to walk out as an entrepreneur? Are you ready to be that family person, you know, to have that family, to have that husband and those children, to have that wife and those children? Are you ready to be somebody's spouse for real? You know, are you ready for that? We just have to prepare. We got to build a house that can stand, a house that when the storms come and the winds come, it will yet be standing. That's what we want to do. I want to make sure that your building is sure. So I want you to be able to build now. If you are already building, keep doing so. Don't give up. Keep pressing. Keep doing what you need to do. Because why? Pretty soon that opportunity is going to come. And when the opportunity comes, you're going to be ready for it. You're going to be ready to walk into it. You're going to be able to do what you've always wanted to do. But you got to build. So make sure that you're building you first. Because if you build yourself up, then when the opportunity arises and you walk into it, you're able to build somebody else up. You're able to bring somebody else with you. You're able to help somebody else and pour into somebody else along the way. Why? Because you took the time to build you. You took the time out to build yourself. I want to read this from the Shepherd The Sheep and the Sheepdog. Y'all can get a copy on Amazon, or you can contact me at wholebeautiful@gmail.com. That is wholebeautiful@gmail.com. And I have copies with me. And you can order your copy. You can order your copy. And for the 5th anniversary, how about this? If you are listening to me tonight and you do not have a copy of The Shepherd, the Sheep, and the Sheepdog, and you would like a copy for my 5th anniversary, I'm going to give out five copies. So send me an email though at wholebeautiful@gmail.com. And once you send me an email at wholebeautiful@gmail.com, send me your name, send me your address. I'm going to send out 5 copies for my 5-year anniversary of the book being out. Okay, guys, let me read this to you really, really quick. And I am going to share this with you it's really from the conclusion of this book, but I wanted to share it with you, and then we're going to end this show for tonight. It says, when God created the earth and us in it, he also created order. Everything had purpose. Take the Bible, for example. Not one word was written haphazardly or just for the fun of it. Every word, every life story, every parable was written with purpose and order in mind. However, when purpose is not known and order is not followed, chaos follows, and things that need to be accomplished will be unfinished and unaccomplished. The word says that in the beginning, the world was without form and void, even as the Holy Ghost hovered over the face of the waters. Then something great happened. God spoke, and he said, and what he said brought forth change. All the elements were ready there to bring about something great. But until he spoke order into them, they didn't know how to shine forth in all their greatness and all their glory. This is why I praise God today and forever, because I serve a speaking God. He is not a statue. He's not a picture on a billboard, nor an animal, fish, food, or a piece of furniture. He is a living, breathing, moving, and speaking God. And in order to move forward and receive the blessing upon our lives, we must allow God to speak to us and bring forth our full potential, allowing us to become what we have been designed to be. We can no longer be formless or void. Why? Because he's spoken over you, and he's spoken life into you, and you're living, and you are not without form, and you are not void. You have everything that you need. And that's what I want you to know tonight. So take those components that you have on the inside of you, take every part of it, and begin to build. Begin to build yourself, and know that what you're building for is going to come. The opportunity is going to come. Are you ready for it? Go ahead and build it. Go ahead and get everything in order. Go ahead and do everything possible that you can do. So when the opportunity arises, you'll be ready for it. I am so glad that you all have joined me tonight. Didn't see any comments tonight. So if you're out there, you can send up some hearts. Let me know that you were watching. Let me know how you enjoyed the show. Send me an email at wholebeautiful@gmail.com, and I will be happy to answer those emails. I will go back and check and see if there were any comments that I did not see on tonight. But you know what? This was really good for me tonight. And you can listen again tomorrow at 4 p.m. It will replay, and what you didn't get to hear tonight, you can hear on tomorrow. I want you to know that building yourself is going to cause you to walk into great opportunities. So take the time out this weekend and build yourself. And remember that whole and beautiful is not just your destination, guys. It's not. It is most definitely your journey. Join me again next week, 7 p.m. on Friday, where we will be back with another episode of Whole and Beautiful, where we will bring about information, revelation, and change. Enjoy your weekend, guys. I love you much. My whole and beautiful nation. Talk to you soon. Bye, guys.